Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Six Hockey. My name is Simon Hendricks. Thank you so much for joining us today. His name is Sammy Brzozowski, and today we are presenting you game number 2 of the GTHL U16 AAA Division Finals between the Vaughan Kings and the Toronto Junior Canadians. Currently, the Vaughan Kings have a 1-game lead as they were able to take game 1 by a score of 2-1. And let's just jump right into this, Sammy. What are you expecting from this game?
I'm expecting another hard-fought battle. I know that sounds obvious, but these are the two best teams in this division, in the U16 AAA division, and I'm expecting a game just as tight as the first one. I didn't really see in the first game one team running away with it. It was Vaughan that ultimately took the victory, but I thought the Junior Canadians could have put a couple pucks behind Stokes. Stokes made a couple key saves. Like you said last game, you didn't say that there was 10 bellers. They were non-10 bell saves, but he made some 9s, some 8 bell saves that really contributed to the team's win, and I think that the Vaughan Kings are at the highest level of compete. JRC's right there with them, so I think we're going to have a hard-fought, very tight game.
You mentioned Dimitri Stokes, and that's a good transition to take a look at the goaltender matchup for the Junior Canadians. It will be Marko Masic yet again getting the start in this one. But for the Kings, they are switching it up as we've seen them do a few times this playoffs. It's Liam Cochran this time getting the start for them.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned last broadcast. The Kings do like to go from the 1A to the 1B from time to time. And I think, honestly, this game is about determining who is your number one guy. You know, Stokes got the win. That's good for his resume in this series. Give Cochran a shot because you never know. If JRC pulls one back, we could see a Game 5. We could see a game where the Vaughan Kings are up against the wall. They're trying to figure out who that goalie is, who's the guy that they're going to go to when all of it is on the line.
And speaking of the Toronto Junior Canadians' efforts to tie up this game, we have a couple players in mind that are going to be major forces, but maybe none as big as our player to watch for the Junior Canadians today.
Yeah, I mean, when asked to pick a player to watch, this guy is always the easiest choice. Cash Kawaja is an incredible hockey player. He is quarterback of a power play. He's one of the fastest players on the ice. He's one of the most skilled, creative players on the ice, but also very unselfish as well. The way he facilitates the puck is incredible, and his shot, him and Kate O'Rourke on the one-timer, I think are the best 1-2 punch in terms of shot power and shot selection in this league, and I expect a big game from him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it all throughout the season, all throughout the playoffs even. It seems like almost every goal that the JRC are able to generate on the power play either comes off the stick of Kawaja or O'Rourke. They're just so incredibly dangerous on that power play. And we didn't see too many penalties or too many special teams opportunities in that Game 1. However, I mean, special teams, a lot of playoff series do inevitably come down to them. And switching focus here, let's talk about the Kings and our player to watch stemming from our last broadcast. Our first star of the game in Game 1 is our player to watch for this one.
Yeah, that's right. Evan Fitzgerald. He had an assist and, of course, the game-winning goal. Just such an Evan Fitzgerald goal. You know, that might not sound like anything if you don't know how he plays, but we mentioned it on the last broadcast. He's one of those guys that you can slot in anywhere. He's one of those guys who slot into, and this is what Simon said, the nitty-gritty areas. And I love that analysis because it's true. He's a guy who PKs, he power plays, he takes face-offs, and he's just one of those guys that you tell him to do something, he'll do it with full 100% effort. That's why he scored in game number 1, and that's what we've seen from him all season long. Maybe not the same flash as guys like Cloutier or Rolston, but what he doesn't have in flash, he makes up for in smart plays, hard work ethic, and I expect him to be a factor in this one as well.
And now, speaking of a man you just mentioned, Landon Rolston, he did not suit up for Game 1, and we do know that he is not suiting up for Game number 2. The Kings, they were able to get that 1-game victory over the Canadians last time, but do you think his presence is still going to be missed?
I definitely think it is. I mean, he is one of the most effective forwards in this league. With Cloutier and Rolston, I've said it before, I think it might be the best dynamic duo that this league has to offer. Of course, Junior Canadians have a couple of their duos to put to test against that theory. But Rolston, he's a fantastic player. It's really like, player comparison aside, McDavid and Draisaitl, one of them being gone. The Vaughan Kings, they're lucky. They're a very deep team We don't really know why Rolston wasn't there for Game 1. We don't know why he wasn't there for Game 2 or isn't there for Game 2. But all the best to him, but definitely going to be sorely missed.
Exactly. I think that also just bolsters how important the players like Evan Fitzgerald, like a Jackson Menery are going to be for this Vaughan Kings forward core. But with that, I think our time here and the pregame show should be wrapping up. Should we go to the ice?
I think I'm ready to watch some hockey.
Okay, well, let's watch some hockey. Game 2 is underway. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Herbert Carnegie Arena for game number 2 of this finals in the GTHL U16 AAA division between the Toronto Junior Canadians and Vaughan Kings. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined alongside by my color commentator, one of the best in the game, Sammy Brzozowski. We're so excited to get this game underway. Worth noting, the Vaughan Kings have a 1-0 series advantage. They took game 1 by a score of 2-1, all power play goals. For the Kings, it was Evan Fitzgerald and Adrian Scrow, the captain, scoring for them. And for the Junior Canadians, it was number 24, Cade O'Rourke, the Round Rock, Texas native, as I'm sure we'll mention about 15 other times on this broadcast. Sammy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Not only was it just the Vaughan Kings that scored on the power play, but the Junior Canadians as well. Cade O'Rourke with the nice slot shot. And I'm very excited to watch these two teams go at it again. It was such a contested hockey game. The Vaughan Kings, they did control possession for the majority. If I had to pick one side that outplayed another team, it was Vaughan. But the Junior Canadians, they found a way to storm back a couple times. They had a lot of chances, and if it wasn't for Dimitri Stokes, we could have been looking at an entirely different result. So I'm excited to see who will be the star in this one.
That's exactly right. And speaking of the starting goaltenders, it will actually be number 1, Liam Cochran, getting the starting nod tonight instead of the Game 1 goaltender winner in Dimitri Stokes. And for the Canadians, they're sticking with their guy, number 31, Marco Masic. He was a very, very good job in game number 1 in the losing effort. Decided to go to him once again in this game number 2.
Yeah, he kept the Canadians in it quite a few times. There was a couple power play opportunities that the Vaughan Kings had where it looked like they were going to score, but Masic, he makes the hard saves look easy, and he's very relied upon by the Junior Canadians. You notice that whenever there's a 2-on-1 odd man rush, they won't block the shot line. I mean, that's what you're taught to do. You got to have trust in your goaltender. And the Junior Canadians, they certainly do, and for good reason. Masic, a big reason why they beat the majors in the semifinals.
The big boys of the Canadians in Grima, Quadri, and Champaign, they were shut down, effectively shut down in that game 1. It was only O'Rourke scoring on the power play, looking for better fortunes in this one. As the Kings, that's a centering shot there from Brody Brown that was turned away by Masic. First real opportunity for the Kings in this. And that's Nelson sending it deep. Hits a stanchion and comes in front of the net of Masic, but Canadians are able to pick up the puck. They swing it around the net. A referee has blown the whistle. Looks like the net has come off. I believe that's counter number 2, Sammy, of the series.
I believe so. I might even say 3. There was a whistle blown and a net adjusted later that we didn't really talk about because it wasn't what the whistle was for, but they went and fixed it. Let's say because for our standings, if it's blown because of the net.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to do it.
It doesn't have to be fixed. It has to be because of the net. So that is number 2. Not too bad so far.
No, game 1 was surprisingly low, although we do know Herb Carnegie Arena, these nets, they like to come off a fair bit.
That is true. I mean, Game 5 of the Marlboros Kings series, I almost had a heart attack how many times Stokes knocked off the net from its pegs.
That was sent in by Grima, and a shot hits the stick of the Kings and wraps around the net of Cochran. Kings able to pick it up in their own end, swinging it along the far side, looking for a breakout. That hits off the skid of Cantanella as he's able to keep it in. Board battle ensues right in front of the Kings bench. Who will come up with the puck? That's Caterin. He wins it back to Cantanella, and he goes the opposite way and forces his wingers to chase as they go for a partial change. That Zinke coming on for the Canadians. He's almost able to keep it in the zone, but the defenseman is only for a moment. Canadians forced to regroup in their own zone. We talked about Game 1 being probably the fastest game we've called in the GTHL U16 AAA division so far this year, and this game looking like that's going to maintain pace, you could say.
That's right. You could say that. I mean, these are the 2 fastest teams in the league. That's not really a long reach to say that, a long stretch. It has some of the best players in the GTHL U16 AAA division, and we see a lot of them trying to avoid the dump and chase technique. We saw it a lot in the first period of game number 1. We were kind of surprised because both these teams love to use that speed to take it wide and start the rush by dragging it into the zone. So I expect to see a little bit more of that today.
That puck is one up to the defenseman, but he is unable to keep it on his stick. Cantanella doing a good job trying to rid the Kings of the puck as they try to break in. But it will be the Kings maintaining possession in the offensive zone. That's sent up to Skro. Skro, his shot's blocked. Picked up by the Canadians as they try to rim it around the boards. Referee's arm is up. Will this be enough for an icing? Yes, it will be, as the Kings will have their second offensive zone faceoff of this game. And obviously, number 34, Joshua Pagani, he is out there. Jasper Wang, he's there. And, of course, number 88, Kane Cloutier, lining up to take the draw. Landon Rolston, yet again, not skating in this one. Best wishes out to him. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But either way, number 88, Kane Cloutier, he was heavily relied upon in game number 1, and he stepped up to the plate. Canadians able to work that one in behind the net of Cochrane. They win it up to the defense. That's O'Rourke sending it down low. Chasing his quad, just centering pass attempt. That's thwarted by a King stick as they look for a breakout. Nice tip pass from the side wall. Oh my goodness, that was Cloutier trying to get a one-touch deke. I believe he will draw the tripping call as that looks like Cash Quadja being headed to the box.
That's right. Now a big-time opportunity here for the Vaughan Kings. We saw how lethal their power play was in game number 1. We've seen it all throughout this playoffs. You and I were discussing, we think it is the best power play in the GTHL U16 AAA division. Second would obviously be the Canadians. The 1 and 2, but to get a power play this early in the game, take control is huge for the Kings, and I can imagine they're going to be rolling out the exact same lineup that they have been throughout the finals so far.
I think you might be exactly right, as we do see Evan Fitzgerald. He scored. Evan Fitzgerald lining up to take the faceoff. He scored the game winner on the power play in game 1. As the referees, they really don't like to drop this puck.
No, it's been a couple times throughout this series already that they've deemed the face-off unfair. Hey, refs, maybe just drop it fairly the first time so we don't have to keep going.
Yeah, and this series hasn't been all that physical throughout the first game. Nothing like the Vaughan Kings and Marlborough's series in the semifinals, where it just seemed like every other minute there was a penalty in that one.
You can argue that it's been almost as physical, but without the whistles, which has been nice. We saw a couple reverse hits in the series from the Kings. Cloutier was throwing the body quite a bit, so was Fitzgerald. So I wonder if that's going to keep up from guys who are more traditionally thought of as skill players.
A very good point there, Sammy. Yeah, I mean, as that puck rolls out of play, just something to note, like in that Marlborough's Kings series, there was so many extracurriculars after the whistle that led to a lot of draws. We saw a little bit of that in Game 1, but maybe not as many as you would expect in Game 1 of the finals.
No, and I think we've talked about it before, but I really think that the referees don't want penalties to determine this series. I mean, it is funny considering that all the goals have been scored on the power play so far, but I don't think the referees want to be the guys that make these huge decisions. I believe that they're going to try to even up the power plays throughout this series.
Evan Fitzgerald was waved out of the faceoff dot before the referee even lined up. They saying get out of there. That was Kane Cloutier trying to get a tie-up, but the Canadians able to clear that. That's Liam Nelson going behind his own net to start the breakout. Kings looking for a push early in this power play. That's Fortin streaking in. He has a couple options behind him. He holds the puck, pressured by 3 Canadians along the near side boards, and that's cleared. Fortin unable to find any of his teammates as the penalty killers go for a much-needed change. Hard to see the clock there. It looks like that may have actually been a 4-minute double minor assessed to Cash Quadja, as it looked like there's about 2:56 left on the power play for the Kings. That was a skate-on-skate, maybe a knee-on-knee, determined by the officials. As yes, that does definitely say 2:43 on the power play as that puck is sent out of play.
Yeah, again, we don't have the ears to the ground. We're way up here, so we don't have exact ideas of every penalty, but good shout, 4 minutes. And we saw a 4-minute penalty earlier in Game 1 as well. So it's interesting. It was Ryder Muir going for the 4 minutes. Same idea there. We kind of just found out based on the timekeeper letting us know. So a lot of time here for Vaughan, and they haven't excelled on this power play so far. Good job from the Canadians.
McKegg holding it at the top. He sends it down to Cabral. Cabral sends it down low. Back up to Cabral. Holding it at the top of the circle. That's sent back up to McKegg. McKegg along the far side. That puck is stripped away by the Canadians and sent right back down the ice. The Kings having a little bit of difficulty maintaining puck possession here on the power play. I don't believe they've had a single shot opportunity through the first 2 minutes of this opening power play here to start game 2. And that's Elaine driving it down deep. Excuse me, that was Jasper Wang, rather. 87 and 97 look eerily similar on the back of these jerseys. And that is number 10, Nixon McKeag, yet again trying to start the breakout as the first power play unit. They come over the boards yet again, stifled at the blue line, but they are able to maintain possession. Red lining in as they go to chase. Canadians applying a lot of pressure, especially on these board battles, and yet again resulting in another clear. Nice keep-in, though, by McKeag. As the Kings, they get a lucky break off of a stick. Circling around the top of the zone is Cloutier. He sends it to Fortin. Fortin sending one down low. That misses the net wide. Centering opportunity is picked up by Ross, and he sends it right around the boards again.
And I think the junior Canadians are doing a good job so far at not allowing the Kings to get a good setup, not allowing them to get comfortable in the offensive zone.
2-on-2 opportunity, shorthanded. That puck is wide of the net. Cochran was not forced to make a save there. A pile up in this near side corner where the puck is. No call from the officials as two players were tangled up. That was Jace Fortman on his back there, tangled with number 14, Liam Nelson, the two 14s going at it. And yet again, the Montreal Canadiens, the junior Canadians, send it down low. Just about 40 seconds left to go on this power play for the Kings. Pace has really slowed after those opening minutes of 5-on-5 hockey. Canadians, an incredible power play to start this game, and yet again, chipped out of the zone. Fortin's forced to regroup, trying to make a move. Nice hit from Alexander Zhu as Fortin was knocked off the puck, and the puck itself finds itself behind the net of Cochran yet again. Fitzgerald, he's carrying it through the neutral zone. Dumping it in and chasing is him, but two Canadians are there. Zhu rimming it around for Grima. Grima patiently toe drags. Nice keep in by Watt. Watt skating it down low himself into the corner. Penalty is almost up. Behind the back of the net of Masic, the Kings, they lose the puck as half the team is going for a change, leading to this opportunity for Grima to send it down low. Quaj is out of the box now, pressuring the net of Cochran, and he will be forced to hold it for a whistle. Almost halfway through the first period, and what a 4-minute penalty kill for the Canadians that was.
Yeah, and that can be a real attitude adjustment. You know, that can get the momentum on your side if you're the junior Canadians. Defending 4 minutes against probably the best power play in the league, that gets the boys buzzing a little bit, gives you a lot of energy. As long as they continue to go with quick shifts, make sure that the PKers are not too tired coming on to even strength, they're in a good spot to generate some of their own offense now.
Offensive zone faceoff for the Canadians is lost, and Pagani, he picks that puck up around the net of Cochran yet again. I feel like half the game has been spent around the back of his net. Pagani trying to chip it forward. Will this be enough for icing? Referee says no. Must have hit a Canadian stick along the way. Nice move there from Grima trying to get out of the zone. Backhand pass. Almost finds the stick of Quadja, but is sent to the far side wall near the red line. Kings breaking in. 2-on-1 opportunity. Shot short side. That's a first save from Masic. Rebound opportunity. And the Kings unable to find the puck in front of the net. A dangerous chance for the Kings right after the power play. They are able to maintain possession. Yet again, having some trouble breaking into the zone as it's sent back to the defense. Breaking in now are the Kings. Chipped through at the blue line. Masic goes to settle it for O'Rourke. O'Rourke patiently waiting behind his net to let his forwards get in position. Stretch pass there. Grima is going to chase. No offside, says the official, and no icing, says the other. Grima, good job on the forecheck to retrieve that puck. Excuse me, that was Jackson Zinke, rather. Yet again, 93 and 96 look familiar with the jersey tuck. Around the back of the net, Kings able to pick that puck up. That's Nelson rimming it around the walls as McClure, he tried his hardest to get the puck out of the zone. He's helped by Elaine. Canadians sending it down low yet again, picked up by Nelson. Streaking forward now, he finds the centerman, Cloutier. He's trying to break through. Wrapped up by Caterin, he's able to get the puck down low, but yet again, it's the Canadians and O'Rourke picking the puck up. Canadians being pressured here in their own zone. Unable to get that puck out. Fortin shot from the point, swallowed by Masic, and he's able to cover that puck up for a needed rest. I feel like that was almost 3 minutes there without a whistle. A lot of back and forth hockey, and yet again, we're seeing in the first period both of these teams employing the dump and chase method.
That's right, and I'm pretty surprised because I saw that as almost an act of panic from both teams. Neither of them were really able to develop the offense with the dump and chase as well as when they just carry it into the zone. It's not really their game style, but it is making sense that, these teams want to play a little bit more cautious. They want to make sure that they're not turning the puck over, especially in the neutral zone. But once we saw the players get a little bit more comfortable, that's when the creativity came out, and that's when both teams started scoring goals.
Worth mentioning, number 95 for the Junior Canadians, the defenseman Sebastian Arduini, is a U15 call-up in this one, something to keep an eye out for, as his first taste of AAA U16 action comes in Game 2 of the finals. Welcome to the U16 League, my friend. That's dumped in by the Canadians. Vaughan Kings, they're going to chase. That's won by the Kings and chipped through. That's Fitzgerald in a foot race there with his defenseman. He's able to get to that puck first. He looks for a pass. There's 4 Canadians there, though, defending. Centering pass for Brody Brown, unable to find his stick as that sent around the boards. Canadians, they pick it up. That's O'Rourke taking it up the wall. Puck finds his stick yet again. Ross, he's there. Stretch pass, trying to find Quadja. He tips it beautifully to Zinke. Mason, he's there. No call on the play as he falls. May have been a tripping call. Referee determined no. Perigine trying to get it through the neutral zone, and he finds his D partner. Sent up along the boards by Cantanella, and that's sent around into the Vaughan King zone. That was Brown. Pass his picked off by the Canadians. Muir almost had the puck on his stick in the slot. Good play from the Kings to get it out quick. Cantanella, he sends it back down yet again. Gloves it to himself, and Zinke's there to pick it up, although they will determine that is a hand pass.
Good call there, and good for the Vaughan Kings because the Canadians, they're operating with some steam now. A couple back-to-back chances and operating in the neutral zone with a lot of speed. The Vaughan Kings caught flat-footed for about a shift or two, so a good whistle always resets them, and they can get back to business.
Face-off tie-up here. That's one back to O'Rourke. He sends it down low. Referee's hand is up. No icing, though, as play will continue. That's kept in by Cantanella. He sends it down low for Zinke. He sends it along the far side. Mason going to get that one. Taken by Caterin. Caterin, shot from the slot. Save from Cochran as Elaine. Reverse hit there from Presley. Elaine sends Caterin on his rear, but he's able to pick the puck up as Cantanella, he helps him by pinching down. Vaughan Kings playing with some more physicality as the Canadians, they pick up the pace. Under 4 minutes to go in this first frame. And that's Wang finding the defenseman as the Canadians, they look to break in yet again. That puck is stopped along the far side wall. Grima was trying to break that puck through, unable to do so. Dumped in by Nelson. He skates through himself, almost gets to Masic, but he will be able to cover that puck. As our first little shoving match after a whistle ensues in this one. A little bit surprised it took this long to get here.
Yeah, Simon, we saw a lot of that in game number 1, especially when the Vaughan Kings were going for the rebounds like we see here. I believe it was Evan Fitzgerald in the first period going for a loose rebound on the net of Masic. Canadians didn't like that, so I expect to see a lot of aggression with the rebounds. You don't really need the pretty goals in the playoffs. You kind of just want any chance you can get. So a lot of defensemen, they don't like that. So I'd imagine we'll see a lot more as the series progresses.
That faceoff was won by the Canadians as they look to get the breakout started. That's bounced high off the glass. Grima there forechecking for the Canadians. Is he able to get the puck? Finds Mason in front. He's unable to get the shot off. That's run up to Ross. Ross, he sends one down low around the net. That's taken by Grima. Centering pass opportunity. Good save from Cochran. Ross, yet again, sending it in front of the net. That didn't get through. Up to O'Rourke. Sending it down low yet again. That hits the chest of Cochran. And yet another pushing and shoving match. A great shift for the Canadians. That was the most dangerous opportunity they've had off the centering feed from Grima.
And this period has flown by, as we've just seen back and forth. But again, no grade A+ chances, but probably one of the best chances of this period there from the top line of the Junior Canadians, as we see the top line of the Kings coming out. I've noticed a pattern with the Kings. Whenever they kind of get hemmed in their own zone, or they have a couple shifts where it isn't going so well, they're spending time in their own end, that top line of Alain, Brown, and Cloutier are often the first ones off the bench.
They do win that defensive zone faceoff, and that's one back. Brown trying to get the puck out of his zone. Mishandles the puck, but is able to get it to his defenseman, as now they are able to go streaking into the zone of the Canadians, but the referees deemed that to be icing. Brown did not get there quick enough. And to your point, Sammy, we see this top line out there for the Kings in almost any situation. I think that just goes to show how versatile all these players are on this line.
That's right, and you see them, like you said, defensive, offensive. Every one of these players plays on the PK and on the power play as well. So that top line is really just such an anchoring piece for the Vaughan Kings, with Cloutier being one of the best players in this league and one of the guys that you can just imagine will be on the ice as much as he can.
Offensive zone faceoff for the Canadians is lost, as you see Grima out there with Quadja for the first time in this one. Around the net of Masic. Defenseman has to get rid of it quickly. He drops it off to Quadja. That's up to Long. Long, he dumps it in at the blue line, going to chase it himself. Looking for options, but he takes a tumble in the corner. That's one up to Brown. Stick lifted, able to maintain possession. Brown, he headbands the puck, and that's yet again sent all the way down for an icing. Looks like Cloutier may have been able to beat that puck. However, the no-touch icing forces this one to come all the way back down to the King zone.
And the Canadians, they have a chance to get something set up here. They need to hem the Vaughan Kings in their zone a little bit more this game in order to drive pucks over to Cochran. Cochran, he's a fantastic goalie, but he hasn't been tested quite as much as we saw Stokes tested in the first game. And Cochran not playing that game one, it is a factor. Not seeing a lot of this team always makes it harder to know which guys are threats in tight.
Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Centering pass out there for Caterin. He's unable to maintain possession. Tie up along the near side wall. That's Zinke trying to win that puck. Trying to send it down low. Mason, he had it for a moment. Zinke, he is able to get that one deep. Caterin, he sends it around the boards. Mason there, cycling it down low. Trying to find his winger along the far side wall, but the Kings able to get that puck loose. Taken by Zoo, pokes it in front for Zinke. Kings maintain possession in their own zone, sending it up for Fitzgerald, but that pass is misconnected. No icing, says the official. However, it looks like a whistle will be blown. I'm not too sure what for. It looked like the defenseman did touch the puck.
Yeah, so I think what happened there was one of the officials called no icing, and the other one did call icing, so we'll have a face-off at center ice. Clearly no icing in our books. We saw the defenseman touch the puck, and even if he didn't, he had the room to touch the puck, so that's always waved off, but I guess the other referee didn't get the memo. A good reset.
Lining up for this face-off are the Canadians and Kings. Cloutier still out there. Grima goes to take the draw against him. That's won by Cloutier, back to Fortin. Sending up the far side wall. Tipped down low. Cloutier going to chase. That will, in fact, be an icing. I could have sworn I saw that hit a stick at the red line. Referees deeming no, or maybe a little bit before. Either way, offensive zone faceoff for the Canadians. Past few minutes, this game has certainly slowed down as we have just a second over a minute to go in this first period.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I hope you took the over in the icings. Vaughan really trying to employ that stretch pass. It's effectively slowed down the pace of this game. You got to wonder if they're going to start employing the carry-it-in method now that they're a little bit more settled into the game.
Ross, he pinched down low as that corner has seen a few tumbles in this game already. Kings looking for one last breakout attempt. Chip pass up for number 17, McClure. Didn't find his stick, but that's one back to Cloutier. Wang. He's there. Trying to find the winger on this far side. Unable to do so. Wang keeping it in for the Kings. Forecheck puck battle along this near side, and that's sent high and out of play. Yet again, the 87 and 97, that's messed me up twice now. And I don't know why. Wang's a defenseman, and Delaney is a forward. Maybe it's just my eyes deceiving me.
Yeah, the one telling part of the jersey is that ad at the bottom. That's how I always look for the U15, because a lot of their jerseys have the bottom ad on the last stripe. U16, it's just the gray.
A very good point there, Sam. I'll keep that in mind. It's Brody Brown taking the face-off. He's usually a winger. He is able to win it, but not as strong as the Canadians clear at the length of the ice. Will it be enough? No, says the official. Play continues. A great clear from the Canadians. That's one back. O'Rourke sending it up the wing. Tipped in by Long. Going to chase for one last attempt. But that is held up against the boards by Watt and Fitzgerald as time winds down here in the first period. Taken by Brown, sent up the boards, and that will end this opening frame. Oh boy, some pushing and shoving after the end there. Will any penalties be called? We saw a couple cross checks in that scrum.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be. I think he's just telling them to get out of the way there, the referee with his arm up. I think you're going to see some physicality, especially at whistles, end of plays. You kind of got to learn to live with that if you're the referees. It's going to happen, especially in the finals. Wow, they are giving them coincidentals.
I was just going to say, that looks like a couple coincidentals there. That will be Brody Brown going off for the Kings as he seems to be the one. That's Liam Watt, as he seems to be the one who initiated the contact. And that looks like number 93, Jackson Zinke. He has that jersey tuck. I could be mistaken on that, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, coincidental minors. It will be 5-on-5 heading into the second period.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the referee's probably trying to, keep things civil by doing the coincidental, letting the teams know, hey, you're going to get penalized for those kind of things. Yeah, I think if a power play was given there, it would be a little egregious. But there, I think it's the referees trying to clean up the game a little bit before it gets out of hand.
And we've seen Liam Watt. He is not one to shy away from those extracurricular activities. He's involved in most of them. Not something you see Jackson Zinke taking a penalty. He's one of the more disciplined players on this Canadians team. But like you said, referees getting involved in this and these puck battles, as you see. That's a nice little pad tap from Masich onto Cochran. You love to see that.
That was really nice. I'm glad that they're being friendly out there. And thank goodness, Perigene, he just untucked his jersey, so it helps you a little bit for Kawaja, because we always mix those two up. But it's good that he undid that jersey, because that is one of the most annoying.
That's a tough one.
They look exactly the same, and they're both very fast. They both have great hands. Obviously, Perigene more on the back end, but that one has fooled us probably 12 times this season already.
At least. But like we said, still full strength, no 4-on-4 as it was just coincidental minors. They'll have to wait for a face-off after the 2 minutes expired. Cloutier, he's almost able to win that puck back. That hits a body, and Long, he breaks in. He's there out there with Kawaja. Shot on, and that's gloved by Cochran as Kawaja was breaking through. Yet again, a couple of Vaughan Kings defensemen in around the presence of Kawaja. Referees skating as hard as they can to break that up.
That's right, and again, this is why we saw those coincidental minors, really trying to force the players not to get into these situations, keep the players safe. As the more and more we see this, we might see one team get a little bit more aggressive than the other, and you got to be careful because a power play could truly change the pace of the game.
It certainly can, as we've said a few times already. Every single goal in that Game 1 came on the power play unit. 2 for the Kings, 1 for the Canadians. That puck is unable to be kept in by the defenseman as Perigene. He's got that jersey tuck again. He tucked it back in before play started, it would seem. But Perigene, he sends it down low. That will be called for an icing. Like you said, Sammy, whoever took the over on icing in this game is having a heyday so far.
Yeah, having a really fun time. That's already hit. I don't think they have to worry about that line of their parlay anymore.
And yet again, that top line of Alain, Brown, and Cloutier staying out there for the Kings, as there's just been 20 seconds of game time elapsed in the second frame. That's one to the winger and tried to send around the net of Masich, but it's sent up along the wall by the Kings. Puck battle ensuing. Canadians trying to get that puck out into center ice where you see 4 of their players lined up. Referees might think about blowing this whistle. Don't have to, as that puck is kicked out of the zone. We saw the Canadians do that a number of times, especially on the penalty kill, where they just decided to hold the puck up against the boards and say, you know what, Kings, you try your hardest to take the puck out. the Canadians, they are able to maintain possession in their own zone. Sending around the net of Masic are they. Off the boards, Caterin chips it down low, not as tough, not as strong as he would have liked. As Fortin, he reclaims that puck for the Kings. A lot of back and forth. I think I can count on one hand the amount of chances I've seen in this one so far, and that's sent in by Pagani. Masic way out of his net. Dangerous play for him. If the puck takes a bounce, that could have been doomsday for the Canadians. Caterin hits off his skate. Grima going to chase the puck as the Canadians go for a quick line change. That was close to too many men. Kings breaking in. That's a shot from the top of the zone, swallowed up by Masic.
Canadians need to tighten that up a little bit. If one of those players cutting across rather slowly to get off hit that puck, they could be looking at it too many. Got to be careful because referees in this league, they tend to let the first one go. If they see it again, they will blow you down. So got to tighten those up a little bit. The last thing you want is a too many men penalty determining the outcome of this game, number 2.
Certainly not a penalty they would love to take. I feel like too many men and, the delay of game out of play are one and the same, where those penalties are just the worst to take. As Wang, he breaks in, top of the circle, centering pass. That hits the pad of Cochrane. Rebound out there, scores! My goodness. Cash Quadja, he pots in the first goal of the game. What seemed like a harmless opportunity leads to a wide open rebound, and Cash Quadja's able to pot that one home.
And Kawaja picks up his second point of the series. Of course, he had the assist on the Cade O'Rourke power play goal in game number 1. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Playoffs aren't about the pretty goals, and that one certainly wasn't pretty. It was, you ready for this? It was a fire drill in front of the net for the Kings. And the Canadians, they capitalized. Jumping on those rebounds are so important. And that's why we see so many defenders get angry at the guys on offense, the forwards, in those situations because they know how dangerous those plays can be. Good job from the Canadians to not let up.
Quadra breaking in yet again, trying to find his winger, but that hits the skate of the defenseman. That goal honestly took me off guard too. I thought nothing of the play when that puck was sent in by Wang. But Quadra finding himself in great positions yet again. I feel like we've said that so many times this season. And yet another icing call, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, he is truly one of the better players in this league. We talk about it all the time, and it's not just because of his skill, because of his speed, his hands. Those are excellent, but his IQ is very high. He puts himself in the right spots, and he's such an aggressive player. He really is a tenacious guy in the offensive zone. We saw it right there.
Quad just staying out there with Grima and Muir for that offensive zone faceoff. They're able to win it. Defenseman going down to pinch. That was Arduini. The Kings, they get that behind the back of their net. Forecheck by Quadja. They're able to keep it in only for a moment, though. But yes, Cantanella, some back and forth in the defensive zone of the Kings. Fortin, he rims it around the far side wall. That puck bounces over the winger stick. Centering pass opportunity, shot low. Saved by Cochrane, but that finds the stick of Cantanella. Sending it over to Arduini. He sends it down low. Quadja still out there. He needs a change, and he goes for one. Pass intercepted by his own forward as Long battles around the back of the net with the Kings. Cycling it down low. Centering pass opportunity yet again. Can't get the shot off. That's Arduini. He hits the pad of Cochrane, and it's swallowed up for another offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, it's definitely worth noting for Arduini. You noted that he's a U15 call-up. Look at that white tape. He's an assistant captain on the U15 team. Not an assistant captain here, so that white tape covering it. I just thought that was fun to point out because they don't give him a U16 jersey. They can't put,
They can't invest in another jersey
They couldn't put threads for the playoffs. Come on, this is the finals. This is what it's all about right here. But Junior Canadians U15 has always been exceptional, so maybe he wants to keep some of that juju going into U16.
I'm sure he does indeed. And that's one, and sent around Wang, taking it around the back of the net, sends it up to Ross. Ross over to O'Rourke. That puck eludes the skate of Zinke. Love the term, love when I get to say eludes. And that's taken by Brown. Centering pass opportunity. Misses the stick of Menery as that puck is sent out of the zone. What an opportunity for the Kings. Their best opportunity of the game, and just couldn't connect with the pass. As you see, all on the far side wall. Two players are entangled. Referees not blowing the whistle. They had a pretty long exchange there with some hits along the ice. But the Kings, they are able to get the puck in their own zone, and they send it down low. That's picked up by the Canadians. Elaine trying to break through, unable to do so. That was sent into the center ice by Pagani. Canadians, they are still applying pressure. That Zoo pinching down low to keep the puck in as Greenma goes to cover for him. Centering pass around the, pass around the back of the net. And Zoo, he fans on that pass, able to recollect it as he sends it right back to his D partner. Sending that one down low, that hits a skate in front. No one's there to bot home the bouncing puck. Kings taking it the other way. Knocked off the puck was Cloutier, but he is almost able to reclaim it. Yes, he is. Good skating move to reclaim that puck for himself. Cloutier maintaining possession. Looking for a shot. That hits the pad of Masic. Rebound out in front. Where is the puck? I can't see it. And it looks like it is covered by Masic as yet another shoving match ensues.
And Simon, if you're the junior Canadians there, you have to be a little bit more careful. You just can't leave a player like Kane Cloutier with that much space to skate. It looked similar to the way he controls the puck on the power play. He was walking the line, taking his time, looking for a lane to walk in and shoot, and that's exactly what he did there. Of course, Marko Misic making a big save, but you got to tighten it up. He's one of those guys where when you're out there, you have to assign a forward to mark him a little bit stronger.
A good point, and obviously with Landon Rolston, obviously they're Batman and Robin, although they're both Batman. Landon Rolston being out, you would have to assume the Canadians' game plan heavily relies upon the containment of number 88, Kane Cloutier, as you see him still out there with Elaine and number 34, Pagani, for this offensive zone faceoff. That puck sent over to McKegg. Not cleanly, though, as McKegg, he tries to send it around the wall. Canadians are able to pick that one up in their own zone. Breakout starting here for the Canadians. That puck is misfired, but Zinke's able to get it down. Grima, he's there to pick it up. Centering pass. That hit the pad of Cochran and sent around the net. Up at the top of the zone. Canadians still maintaining possession. Shot through some traffic. That hits a leg and is sent in the corner. Knocked down are the Canadians. Good hit there from the Kings. I believe that was number 27, Evan Fitzgerald, delivering that hit. And he reclaims the puck in the neutral zone. Sent to Cloutier. Cloutier, he's got three defenders on him trying to make a move. Defensive play at its finest, 3-on-1. And obviously the 3 will win. Reverse hit from the Canadians as they're able to maintain possession in their own zone. Trying to get it out is Long, but he's pressured there by Cabral. Cabral, fancy stick work to get that puck deep, but unfortunately that one goes up and out of play for yet another offensive zone faceoff, saying the officials.
Wow, that's good news for the Vaughan Kings. They haven't been able to drive so much offense in this game like we saw in the last. I was going to say earlier, the Vaughan Kings, they've picked it up the past few minutes, but earlier we were seeing kind of the first time that the Vaughan Kings were caught flat-footed, the first time that they weren't the ones controlling possession. And even in the Marlborough series, when they lost games 2 and 3, they should have won them. They had a 3-0 lead in game number 3, as we see some more pushing and shoving.
Yeah, that was a clear after the whistle. That almost looked like a cross-check by Long there. No penalties on the play. Sorry, continue your point, Sammy.
No, it's interesting for the Vaughan Kings. We saw them controlling possession against the Marlboroughs even when they lost, and this is the first time that they haven't in the playoffs, really. And it's interesting to see because Vaughan is always the team that's controlling momentum, regardless if they get the win or not.
Cabral, he's skating up the boards. No icing, says the official, as they deem it hit his stick. Canadians, they are able to get possession of the puck as they streak through the neutral zone. Carrying it through the blue line. Shot on net. That goes wide. Centering pass opportunity. Quadra can't find it. The bobbling puck eludes his stick, and the puck does not hit the net. It hits the pad of Cochran as he's able to spread out and get to that one in time. Good opportunity for the Canadians yet again to go up 2-0.
And Cochran, he uses his frame so well. He's 6'4" in the U16 division. We've mentioned so many times. That's just not fair. Give an inch to us, it's selfish is what it is. But he uses that tall frame very, very well to move side to side in his net and to make sure that there's no visible shooting lanes. That first goal, you can't really blame on him. He made the first couple saves. His defense got to bail him out. He's playing pretty well so far.
2-on-2 forming here for the Kings. They carry it through the blue line. That's passed to Elaine. Elaine trying to find number 17, McClure, again unable to do so as that puck is sent down to the King zone. Watt rimming it around the wall. But that's picked up by the Canadians in their own zone. That's Zoo taking it around his own net. Just about halfway through this second period. That's sent all the way down. No icing as Jensen, he plays it. Centering pass in front. That was Vortman with the opportunity. He reclaims it. Can't find the puck. What a play. What an opportunity for the Canadians to go up 2-0. The bouncing puck yet again playing a factor in this one for the Canadians. King sending it up the ice. Referees clapping to say no icing. Don't know if I've ever seen the two clap method before.
I've seen a shuffle, but certainly not the way he just did that. That was special from Stripes.
Sent in by Cantanella. Nelson is there to play it. He sends it around the wall. Picked up by the Canadians, though. Centering pass. Where is the puck? It's covered by Cochran. Yet again, a couple Canadians tumbling in front of him. You know the Vaughan Kings, they don't like that one bit, but good discipline from them not to kind of hit them when they're down, no pun intended.
And if I'm the Vaughan Kings head coach, you know what I don't like is my breakouts right now. We saw a couple times in that shift. At one point, the no ice where the referee did the Samba clap, it had 3 Vaughan Kings leaving early. They were at the red line before the puck was even out. You got to give your defense more options. You got to give them an opening because if you don't, that's what leads to those long stretch passes being forced, and that's what leads to those icings and having to dump it in. And it's what's led to so many junior Canadians' offensive zone rushes and faceoffs.
Cloutier hops back over the boards. Kings double shifting him here in the second period as he lines up for the faceoff. That's one and sent to Arduini, who sends it around the nets. Canadians trying to cycle it down low. Quadja goes to chase after it. He's up at the circle, shot on, and that's saved by Cochran yet again. Cochran's been very sharp these past few moments ever after letting in that first goal, which, like you said, Sam, wasn't exactly his fault. He's been sharp with all these saves in tight.
He certainly has been very sharp, and he just looks solid. He like Marko Masic, makes a lot of the hard saves look easy, even for that Vortman chance in tight. He kind of just put his body in the way. He didn't overreact, and that's what you got to do when the pass gets thrown to the front like that. When it pops out, you can't overreact because that's how goals are scored, when goalies kind of over-anticipate a shot.
That's sent in by McKaig as the Kings go to chase after it. That's Brown down low trying to win that puck battle. He's joined by Fitzgerald in the corner. Canadians almost get that puck through, but Fitzgerald takes it and sends it up to the defenseman. That's Cloutier playing the point, and he sends it down low for McKaig, who sends it behind the net. Centering pass that hits the post and picked up by Zoo. Sending it around the boards are the Canadians. Grima taking it up the wing. Sending it across to the red line. O'Rourke breaking in. O'Rourke's shot. That was a funny hop off the stick. Not too sure if he got as much on that as he wanted to. Puck battle ensues in that far side corner. Nelson is there, trying to rid the puck of the Canadians, but Cantanella, he keeps it in just barely. He goes to retrieve it himself. Sent down low. Canadians going for a change. Vortman comes on, streaking down low. Canadians out in front, unable to get a shot off. Puck is still loose and taken by Nelson. Referee blows the whistle. Oh my gosh, I think we have number 3, Sammy.
No way.
I believe we do. The camera's not showing it, but that was a clear sign. I think the referee went to go and get to change the net there.
These nets, man. You know what I also want to point out that I just realized? We talked about how there's 3 Wangs in this series. There's also 3 Sebastians in this series. Pick some more names. Let's get some uniqueness. It just makes it a lot harder. We have Sebastian Fortin. We have Sebastian Arduini now. And then Sebastian Cabral. That's too many Sebastians. They got to figure it out.
What's your problem with the name Sebastian?
I just don't like everyone having the same name. It's already hard enough with the Kawaja and Elaine combo, both of them having older brothers who played in the GTHL, both of them who played on these respective teams. That confuses us enough. We got to start getting some more diversity in our names here. Like a Mortimer or something.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever have a son and you don't name him Mortimer, I will hold you to that. I'm going to quote you on this.
Well, I'm obviously naming my firstborn Simon.
I'll take that as a badge of honor. Elaine going to win that draw. Unable to do so. Grima, he lays off. Zoo sending it down the length of the ice. That does hit a stick. No, it does. Does it? I can't tell. No, it does not. I could have sworn that hit the stick. I made that call prematurely.
I think that time maybe the refs actually got it right. It's hard to tell with this camera, of course, the way it pans out, and sometimes we miss some of the action, but not a good look for the Junior Canadians. You notice Cloutier being sent on for the Vaughan Kings as it's the Canadians hemmed in their own end.
Yeah, Cloutier certainly being double shifted as previously mentioned here to end the second period. I feel like he's been on for half the time in these past few minutes. Pressured by Alain, but the Canadians are able to get that one through and into the neutral zone as they started breaking through the blue line and in. That's O'Rourke. Excuse me, not O'Rourke. I couldn't see the number. I believe that was Wang sending it through by his lonesome. Sending it out in front. No one is there for the Canadians as the Kings, they send it down back to the Canadian zone. That's O'Rourke sending the stretch pass, trying to hit Caterin. He takes a tumble out in center ice, and that is deemed offside. Rather, that was Zinke who took a tumble there at the blue line.
That would have been a nice play from the Junior Canadians to bat that puck down and enter the zone. Unfortunately, they had the man down in the offensive zone. Kings got to be careful with the way they're dumping the puck out. We've seen a couple turnovers in the neutral zone, the Canadians getting pieces of it. You can't do that against a team as fast as the Junior Canadians. They know how to turn around on a puck, get an odd man rush going, as we see a huge tumble there.
Well, there have been a few tumbles, especially off the faceoffs in this one, and that's Jansen trying to work it into the center of the ice. That's taken by Cabral. He headmans his winger on the blue line, but that's taken by the Canadians off of a misconnect pass. Referee's arm is up, and that is called an offside.
That one's definitely offside.
That one definitely was
one's pretty
offside.
cut and dry.
Yeah, you won't hear any complaining from us on that one. We kind of give it to the refs from time to time, but
we just expect so much of them. You know,
that's just the thing.
Because they're such professionals out there. I mean, U16 AAA is some of the fastest hockey you'll ever watch. Certainly some of the fastest youth hockey in the country. So I don't blame the refs all the time, but sometimes they mess up.
That centering pass from McClure was intercepted by the Canadians as they go to streak the other way. That's Quadja. Nice move there. Shot on. That hits the pad of Cochran and sent wide. Kings, 3-on-2 opportunity forming. That's Cabral breaking it in. His shot hits the stick and up and almost out of play. Didn't go quite that high. Ross taking it in his own zone. Evading the forechecker there. Quadja tipping it forward for himself. He has some options. Drops off for Caterin. Caterin centering pass. More like a centering shot. Hits the body of a King. Hand pass, or not hand pass, but a hand block, you could say. As Wang, he's able to maintain possession for the Canadians, trying to cycle it down low for Caterin. Puck battle ensues. Caterin and Wang down there for the Canadians, but that's sent to Nelson. Nelson looking for his options. Kings taking it through the neutral zone, and that's dumped in. Hits the blocker of Masic, heads up. Way to stay sharp from Masic. That's Arduini sending it down, tipped at the blue line, and is around the net of Cochran. Some more back and forth without a ton of grade A chances, continuing the storyline in this game here. And the referee will blow that one an offside yet again. Just about 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Sam, I don't want to, be splitting hairs here, but this game is certainly not as eventful as the first game was.
Yeah, I kind of have to eat crow.
Oh,
there you go.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, I might have to, because I said this game wouldn't employ those dump and chase, those long stretch passes as much, because I thought these teams were a little bit more comfortable. But we've seen it a lot more. It reminds me a lot of how the first few minutes of the first period of Game 1 underwent. It was just a lot of back and forth, neutral zone opportunities, no real grade A chances, and it's kind of been what we've seen throughout this game. Even the Junior Canadians goal, like you said, it was kind of a nothing play that turned into a scoring chance rather than a scoring chance itself.
Vorman, he has it in the corner, looking for his options, centering pass. That hits the stick of the Vaughan Kings defenseman. Does not go out of play as the Canadians are able to keep it in and send it around the net of Cochran. Kings pick it up. That puck unable to be held in by Wang. And that one is sent out of play. My goodness. Some stopping and starting here for this one. Maybe the third period we'll see some more action. Not necessarily action, because obviously any hockey game, if you're a purist, is entertaining. Don't get us wrong. But to your exact point, the first period, of game number 1 was a lot of that dump and chase stretch pass method. And then when the action really started to pick up with those grade A scoring chances, a lot of them came off of the rush chances where you saw everyone really start to carry it into the zone.
That's right. I honestly think that the Junior Canadians, they're playing a much better game through game number 2 than they did in game number 1. I think they have more control of their own play. They're setting the pace a lot better. And while that might be a little bit less exciting for us, we know the coach is liking it.
Shot from O'Rourke doesn't find the net as Elaine sends it around the boards. O'Rourke down to pinch, unable to get that one, unable to keep that one in as Elaine chipping it down low. Sending McClure to chase that one, but Zoo's there to meet him. Centering pass hits the post and out to the wall. Kings can't keep that one in as Foreign reclaims the puck in his own zone. Will that be enough for an icing? Referees saying yes, as just under 2 minutes to go here in the second period. And we'll have another offensive zone faceoff for the Canadians.
One of the first times this game that we've agreed with the ref and known that it was ice from the get-go. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, I will say I do miss the little clap. I think every referee whistle should be forwarded by a clap.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
Get that little samba clap in, no matter the result.
Yeah.
I could be down for that.
Even if it's a penalty. Perigine, he's able to keep that one in. Quick transition there from the commentator booth. Wang going around the own net, trying to find a centering pass. Isn't able to do so, but he is able to find the defenseman. Perigine sending it down low, trying to find a tip in front. That doesn't find anyone except the corner of the boards. Grima cycling it down low. He's being pressured, but it's picked up. Oh my goodness, what a good hit there. Shoulder on shoulder from number 16, Liam Watt, to rid the Canadians of the puck. Brown going to chase it. That's Cabral picking it up. No offside, says the official. Cloutier does a spinorama, but does indeed get the puck knocked off his stick. Watt sending it down low. Masic out to play it, to calm it down. Cantanella reclaims it himself. Sending it up the boards. Skating in is Wang. Wang, shot from the top of the circle, hits the pad of Cochran, and McKegg takes it for the Kings up to the neutral zone, sending it down low at the blue line. Canadians there to pick the puck up. That's Long skating it around his net. Some back and forth table tennis action from the Canadians. Oh my goodness, another hit from Nelson onto Quadra. Referee's hand is up. Will this be for an icing? Yes, it will. No call on the play.
Yeah, that would have been a little much.
That would have been a little much.
To call that, I mean, let's be real here. Icing, not that much time left in the period. Vaughan would love to tie it up here, going into intermission, going into that flood that we always mention, the 15-minute intermission. Always good time for the teams to collect themselves. Would be a lot sweeter going in with the game tied.
About 40 seconds left to go here. McKegg sends it to his D partner, Nelson. Canadians skating for that puck, and they are able to maintain possession. That's sent around the boards. Kawaja, he has it, sends it out. McKegg unable to keep it in. Nelson circling it in his own zone, sends it to McKegg. McKegg back to Nelson. Just about 15 seconds left to go, and it seems like the Kings are quite content just to play a game of keep away to end this frame. Sending it up the boards for a stretch pass, and the referee's yet again calling for that icing call with just about, looks like 7 seconds left here in this one. Maybe one last opportunity for the Canadians.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll employ an overload shooter here. Depending on what side of the ice it is, you could see a guy like O'Rourke stepping up a little bit, trying to go for a quick face-off back to get a quick shot away.
Doesn't seem like they're in the overload position, though. Grima, he tries to win that one, centering pass, doesn't find anybody, and that's cleared by the Kings, and that will... Is the referee seriously calling icing? I hope he's not, and time is expired. No icing on the play. It seems like he almost wanted to. Glad he didn't. And that will do it for the second period. JRC having a 1.
And Simon, we talked about how the first 2 periods, they were a little bit slow in terms of the firework factor, you know, the excitement, the grade A chances. I expect that to change here. I think these teams, when they get settled, are super creative. And when we see the creativity come out of the 1 and 2 seed, that's when we see the goals. I would be shocked if this game ends 1-0.
You know, I absolutely hate to agree with you, but I am going to agree with you. I would be surprised if only 1 goal is scored this game, as both teams out of the 15-minute intermission, lining up to take the draw, and that's one back by Grima. Vortman sends it to her work, trying to work it up the side wall, unable to do so. Canadians recollecting it in their own zone. That hits the stick of Jansen, and that's Caterin going to chase him down low. Grima gets it up top. Passes to O'Rourke, slap shot, rebound, scores! Jace Vortman, only seconds into this third period, puts the junior Canadians up by a score of 2-0.
And that's how you start a third, folks. 19 seconds into the third and perhaps final frame. The junior Canadians, they come out of the face-off firing. And that's what you need to do. We talked about how sometimes the goals in the playoffs aren't going to be the most beautiful. That goal transpired off a dump and chase, a shot from the point, and good positioning there from Jace Vortman to get a piece of it. Not the start to the period I'm sure that the Vaughan Kings wanted. The junior Canadians really in the driver's seat now.
As you see, some quick line changes for the Canadians. That's Quadja. His line jumps over the boards after the Canadians go up 2-0. The referees will call that one offside. I believe that was Quadja getting a little bit antsy as the puck goes, as he goes before the puck in the zone.
Yeah, and Simon, the same thing kind of happening here. We talked about how Vortman, he made the save he needed to for the first goal. It was a bunch of traffic in front, and he wasn't able to stop it. Same thing kind of there. He had a guy right in front of him. No one was covering Vortman, streaming in towards the crease, and can't really do much when there's that much space for a player to get a deflection, even to get a rebound. So great start from the junior Canadians. They got to keep firing here.
Ross's shot was tipped in front, but a pad of Cochran sent that aside. Kings looking to break out of their own zone. That's Brown. He had it at the boards. Ross was able to keep it in only for a moment, though. He does recollect the pinching defenseman with an effective shift, getting that one down as Quadja goes to battle in the corner. He's helped out by Zinke, sending it around the wall. That's picked up by Wang. Wang trying to keep it in for the Canadians. He's able to do so. Zinke jumps on for Quadja as he gets in that puck battle with Elaine there for the Kings battling with him. Puck still trapped up along the sidewall. We've seen the Canadians use that tactic many times early on in this series. That one's offside, and the Canadians will have to regather themselves in the neutral zone as Vaughan looks for a breakout. Vaughan working it up the middle. Zinke is forechecking there, making it difficult for them to enter the zone. Zhu disrupts that pass, and he goes back to play the puck. Up along the sidewall are the Canadians. That's Mason working it around his own net. Picked up by the Kings along that far side hash mark, sending it to the net of Masic, but that goes wide. Cycling it down low are the Canadians looking for a breakout. That puck's picked up by Wang. That shot just goes wide. Canadians doing a good job getting that puck out of the zone effectively after that shot from 87 Wang. Foreign carrying the puck up the ice now with some speed. He's in all alone. Nice move there around the circle. Shot, scores! Sebastian Fortin with the end-to-end goal, going glove side on Masic, and he brings the Vaughan Kings back to within one just minutes after JRC goes up by 2.
And Simon, I mean, that is such a typical Vaughan Kings response. We've seen it so many times in this playoffs. It reminds me of when in game number 2 against the Marlboros, they ultimately lost that game, but Landon Rolston made it 2-2 after allowing that 2-1 goal just moments earlier. Same exact thing happened there, Fortin deciding to take it on his lonesome, creating speed in his own end, and putting his team on his back.
Oh boy.
And what a beautiful goal that was. Yeah, that was quite the physicality in front. But Fortin, my goodness, we've seen him use that speed quite a bit, but he's really coming into his own as an offensive defenseman. He also is a great defender as well, truly showing that two-way role. Great shot from him in tight, too. Let's not forget what a hard angle that is to score, and beating Masic from there, that takes skill.
It certainly does. Masic, it looked like maybe a bit of a routine shot, but must have just squeaked past the glove on that short side. That's Grima carrying the puck along the near side. Pass up, that was Caterin carrying the puck there. Shot on net, Caterin, rebound! Good save from Cochran. Puck still out front, but that's sent away from the front of the net by the Kings. Ross was able to keep it in, though, as the Canadians looking to cycle it down low. It is picked up by them. Cross-ice feed. Quadja, he jumps over the boards, up to Ross. Ross puts one on net. Cochran, he does not get a piece of that. I believe that missed wide. O'Rourke able to keep that one in. Kings looking to start a breakout. Fitzgerald, his stick, finds the puck, trying to slow it down for Pagani. Defense for the Kings changed, but the Canadians still pressuring. That cross-ice feed doesn't find anybody, and that's just flicked in as the Kings go for a forward line change. Cantanella, he calms the puck down behind the net of his goaltender. Looking to start that break. Oh my goodness, that could have been a blooper reel. I don't think Masic knew exactly where that puck was. Some mishandling of the puck. It looked like Cantanella was trying to start the breakout, lost the puck, and somehow that puck was under Masic for a second.
And Masic doing the smart thing, just playing it safe. You know, you don't want to take any risks here. You're only up by 1 now. They had the 2-goal lead for about 17 seconds there. Immediately, it is Vaughan tying it. So we're kind of back to the way we started in the first period. I expect the junior Canadians to run a lot of quick shifts, keep the legs going. I don't necessarily think they'll park the bus, but they definitely want to be outworking the Vaughan Kings on the puck battles with forechecks like this.
To your point, Sammy, that was a great forecheck to get that puck down low. Quadra, his shot hits a stick and goes above the net. Kings trying to get the puck out of their zone. Quadra reclaims it for the Canadians only for a moment. And that's the Kings streaking through. Elaine trying to make a move on the defenseman, unable to do so. He circles, trying to find the puck around the net. Backhand around the wraparound, hits the pad of Masic and bounces out. Canadians able to clear. But it would seem like a whistle has blown. I'm not too sure why. Perhaps the puck hit the ceiling. It was a pretty high flip. Nope, the net. It's the
that's
net.
4?
I believe that's 4.
Wow. It's unbelievable, really. It is unbelievable. It's been such a factor. I think that the Nets have more points than any player in the GTHL right now.
And you know what? We do harp on the refs. They've been good this game. That puck was way out of the zone when the whistle blew. I feel like we didn't need to blow the whistle to fix the net about half an inch there.
Do you ever see that play of the guy who fixed the net, then scored the one-timer in the slot?
I don't think I have. You'll have to send me that one later.
It's a classic.
Canadians breaking it out of their own zone. Finds the man along the side wall. That was Vortman dumping it in. Shot on. It took a weird bounce. Don't think it was off the stanchion, though. Vortman sends it on the net of Cochran, and Cochran's forced to cover that one as Grimo is streaking down low, trying to find the puck. And, of course, this top unit back out there for the Canadians for this offensive zone face-off.
I think we've settled down a little bit in the period. There was some antsy passes and some goal opportunities that really were because of the period and the players not being settled in. But now it seems like both teams are back to action.
That shot goes high and wide out of play. A good face-off shot from Braden Grima made Cochran have to make a nice save, a reactionary save just inside the circle. But it will be an offensive zone face-off for the Kings. Pagani is out there with Fitzgerald and McClure. Fitzgerald lining up to take the draw. But the lines will actually change, of course. This top unit of Brown, Elaine, and Cloutier heading back out for the offensive zone face-off. 2 top units out here on the ice. Cloutier, he gets that puck. He has options with him, holds it at the line. Nice save. Wang, that hits a shin pad in front, but he reclaims it. Wang, from the top of the circle, save from Masic. A solo effort from Wang, retrieving his own block shot, and he makes Masic make a good save.
Yeah, and Simon, it might come down to goaltending in this one. I mean, we've seen both goalies make some great saves in this game. Like we were saying, the first 2 periods, not a lot of chances where the goalies were tested, but that doesn't mean that both goalies haven't come to play. We've seen a couple of huge saves, especially early in the first period here from Liam Cochran. And now Marco Masic, he's being forced to make a few as well. So I expect this to keep up. The goalies, they really got to lock in, both of them playing very well so far.
Canadians unable to get that one through the neutral zone. That's Ross behind his own net, cycling it there for O'Rourke. O'Rourke calming the puck down, trying to find Vortman, and he's able to tip it out. Gets tangled up. Don't believe the referee's going to call that one. That's Brown taking it in his own zone. He has some wheels with him. Drops it off for his defenseman. Nice move there from Foran. Foran trying to break through yet again. The lone goal scorer for the Kings in this one. He elects to just dump this one in this time. Dumping it down low. That's Watt holding the puck. Watt has options. He finds Brown. Excuse me, that was Cloutier. Cloutier, he dumps it off the boards and retrieves it. Brown centering pass. Masic makes a save. Where's the puck? It's on the side of the net. Cloutier's shot from the slot. And I believe that is a clear net knocked off for sure. That's number 5 in this series. Oh boy, these nets.
Yeah, I really think we've talked about it so much, and it just keeps happening. It's exhausting, man. But nonetheless, face-off inside for the Vaughan Kings. And what the junior Canadians need to do is make sure that the Vaughan Kings don't grab a hold of this game. Make sure they don't have the momentum, because we see what happens when they control puck possession. They did a very, very good job in the first period at not allowing Vaughan to get comfortable. They need to keep restricting zone entry.
There's the Canadians with zone entry. Long shot is blocked by the good stick of Watt. And he battles down in the corner trying to get up for Cantanella, but that's stripped away by the Kings. Watt finds his D partner as they start a breakout. Watt carrying it through the red line. Gives it over to Cabral, and his pass finds Wang. Wang taking it back around his net. Pass it up the side wall for Long. Long, yet again, retreating behind the net of Masic, trying to find that first stretch pass. We have a couple forwards here already at the red line. Referee's hand is up. That will be an icing call. And that's the scary part about those stretch passes. We saw it looked like 3 Vaughan Kings were in the zone of the Canadians as they tried to find that stretch pass to the 2 wingers along the red line. That pass unable to connect, and it will result in another offensive zone faceoff where, yet again, we see this line of Cloutier, Alain, and Brown out there.
Yeah, we were talking about how dangerous the cross-ice passes can be, those long stretch passes. Because, yes, they are effective if you can hit your man, but if you don't, it is an icing. And offensive zone faceoffs have proven crucial in this series. They've proven crucial in the playoffs, especially when you got guys on the back end like Cooper Ross or Kate O'Rourke or Scrow, Nelson, guys who can take booming slap shots. Quick faceoffs could be the determining factor in a win or a loss, so you really want to make sure that you're not allowing a lot of offensive draws.
Grima unable to win that one. That's dropped off to McKegg. Sends it over to Nelson. Nelson shot through traffic, hits a shin pad, and pops back out to him. Trying to hold the zone. He's not able to do so as he finds McKegg. Finding Brown along that near side wall. Sending it down low. Masic blockers that one to the corner. Grima taking it around his own net. Trying to find some options. He's able to squeak that one through. Vortman along this near side wall. Camera's cutting our angle off, but a puck battle will ensue. Who's going to get this one, folks? Looks like a stick is almost trapped there. Canadians yet again just electing to take those pucks to the wall as they start a breakout. That's Mason with the shot. That hits the blocker of Cochran and pops out to McKegg. McKegg high and off the boards, but that, don't know if that one hit a stanchion, but that's out of play.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it did there, but worth mentioning, we are already about halfway through this period, Simon. It has flown by. The only real whistles have been the few offensive zone faceoffs and the goals themselves. Time really ticking away here, and of course, this is like a year in hockey. But worth noting that we are at the halfway mark in about 16 seconds.
It is. I almost didn't notice. I could have sworn only a few minutes have gone by just about how quick this game has felt, this third period has felt. Certainly some more pace than the first two. Canadians, they're working that one down low. Long going to chase it behind the net of Cochran, but he's taken down. Kings getting the puck broken out of their zone. Pagani, he sends it down. Hands it to himself, but fans on the pass to McClure as the Canadians, they break out the other way. 3-on-2 forming here. That's Mason. He loses the puck. Backhand pass. Shot from the top of the circle. That finds Cochran's pad and bounces out to Zoo. Zoo skating around his own net. Trying to the wraparound. Those are a couple wraparounds in this period. You don't see those too often, but Cochran's pad and glove are there for the whistle.
That's a good save from Cochran once again. He's so positionally sound. I was watching that play. I would like to see a little bit more confidence out of Jasper Wang. We saw he had a chance to go for a skate. He tried to get the pass up on the near side boards. It ended up being a short rush for the Vaughan Kings, nothing they were really able to turn into offensive pressure. He had a lane to skate. He's very quick. He's got some great hands. I think next time, if he has the lane, he should take it.
Cabral tries to hit up the wall, but that finds the tape of Zoo. And he dumps it down low for Caterin to chase after. Fortin, he's there for the Kings, though. Fortin is taken down, but is able to get the puck up and out of the zone. Canadians reclaim it in their own end. That's tipped by a King. Will not be enough for icing as Wang goes to chase after it for the Canadians. He's met by Jansen in the corner.
Puck battling ensuing in the corner. Kings seem like they had it for a moment, but that is taken by the Canadians. Pass is intercepted, but O'Rourke, he gathers it at the point. O'Rourke trying to make a move on the winger. Shot from the top of the zone. That hits the glove of Cochran and sent away. Watts there for the Kings. He presses up against the wall, trying to find some options, but is pressured by a couple of Canadian forwards. Canadians, they have it around the back of the net of Cochran. Cochran doing a good job shutting down the wraparound angles. Sent in by Wang. Canadians still maintaining possession. Shot from the short side. I don't believe that one found the net. Perhaps found a skate, and the Kings turn and burn the other way. That's Cloutier. He was pressured by two defensemen there as he elects to just dump it in at the blue line. However, they are able to maintain possession. That was Brown trying to center it for a lane. Pass and get through. Canadians have it. They find Grima, who tips it and goes for a chase with Nelson all over him. Nelson makes a move to make Grima miss his check. High and off the wall, Vortman, he has it. Sends it right back down low for Zinke to chase. Kings, yet again, playing a game of table tennis, it would seem here, these past few minutes with the Canadians. The Kings being hemmed in on their side of the red line. Cochran goes to play that puck out. That's Fitzgerald trying to work it up the wall, and the puck is stripped off of his stick by Vortman. Canadians yet again looking to break out of the zone. That pass is tipped by the Kings. No icing, says the referee, as Nelson just elects to calm things down. I lied, stretch pass, that's intercepted by the Canadians, but that pass yet again intercepted by Alain. Cross ice feed for Fitzgerald, doesn't find his stick, and that's dumped down around. Brown going to chase after it. Centering pass opportunity, and Masic makes a great save. A harmless play. I didn't really register what was going on. The next thing I knew, a centering pass found the stick of a Kings forward. A slap shot from inside the circle, and Masic makes a sharp save.
And Simon, I'm starting to think that maybe there's no such thing as a harmless play when it comes to these two teams. The first goal being scored on that dump in towards the net, just a harmless shot. And then the Canadian second goal as well, just a shot from the point as well. These guys, they find a way to turn everything into goals.
That's exactly right. And that shot is blocked by Caterin, but the Kings able to keep it in the zone. That's Ross trying to break it out. His clear attempt is batted down by Fortin. Little Odell Beckham Jr. there, it seems, on the ice. Canadians are able to get it out of their zone, but Fortin is there for the Kings. Gets that one to Brown. Off the skates, and the Canadians pick up a lucky break, and they pick up the bobbling puck. That stretch pass finds the stick of the Canadians. Streaking down low, shot on from the circle. That save from Cochran. Kings looking to turn the other way. 3-on-3 forming here. Almost an offside, and yes, it will be an offside. Oh. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I thought they may call it. But unfortunately, I believe that was number 97, Presley Alain, got a little bit too excited.
Yeah, and wow, that was a close chance. But how about those junior Canadians popping in, having a 2-on-1 opportunity, going for the shot, and Liam Cochran standing tall once more. Cochran, a huge reason why Vaughan is only one goal away from tying this one. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think I was right. This third period has really ramped up in terms of chances, and you can tell the energy is just a little bit different.
Oh my goodness, that another weird bounce off the boards, forcing Masic to come sprawling out of his net. That was number 66, Sebastian Cabral, streaking in with all of his might and speed, trying to pot one home on Masic, but Masic making a good reactionary play. And you know what, Sammy? I will toot your horn. This has been a very, very eventful third period, certainly more so than the opening two frames.
I'm nervous, and I'm not even on the ice. I have no stake in this at all, and my stomach hurts a little bit.
Well, maybe you should go get that checked out. Anyway, a puck battle ensuing here. Canadians were able to win that draw, but unable to clear it out of their zone. Zhu making a nice move, passing it up for Wang. Mason, he streaks in, trying to find Grima along that far side. Pass finds the glove of Cochran, of all people, as there is now less than 3.5 minutes to go in this third period. If you're the Kings, at what point do you think of pulling Liam Cochran?
I think you got to wait a little bit, but it definitely is coming soon. I'd say towards the minute mark. I would be shocked if Cloutier isn't on the ice for most of the time here. We're going to see Fitzgerald, Brown, Cloutier, as well as Elaine on for basically the rest of this period if the Vaughan Kings do not tie it up soon.
That was sent in by O'Rourke. He has been on for seemingly half of this third period for the Canadians on that right side. Canadians able to hold that one in. Shot there from Wang. I believe that one may have hit a stick and bounced out of play. A bad defensive zone turnover from the Kings leading to that opportunity from Wang in the slot.
And that's the last thing they can afford right now. But good on Lucas Wang to jump on that opportunity, get the shot off, and at least force the offensive zone faceoff. That's what you got to do. Keep the puck deep in the offensive zone, and you don't have anything to worry about.
Quadja looking for a centering pass. Short side shot.
There you go.
Say that 10 times fast. But that is deflected out of play yet again. And yet another offensive zone faceoff as we see Zinke, Grima, and Long. That's not a line combination you see all that often employed by the Canadians. And, of course, they all got the 9 in front of their jersey number, so this will be awesome for the commentator's booth here.
And you got Zoo in the back end.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Grima trying to will his way to the net off of that faceoff, but the Kings are able to pick it up. They're streaking the other way. Will they pull Cochran, and if so, when? But a good defensive stick from O'Rourke sends that way down. No icing. Did not have enough. Bobbling puck is picked up by the Canadians. That's Grima. Sliding it back to Zoo. That's along the far side. Along the far side. Zinke going to chase after it. He has an option for Long. Decides to carry it himself. Long picks the puck up from him. Trying to find Grima in front. He's able to reclaim his own rebound. Cycling it down low for Zinke. Finds Ross at the top. Shot on from the top of the circle is gloved by Cochran. 2:15 left to go. Anything can happen here.
And I can imagine, Simon, that the Vaughan Kings get a string of opportunities in the offensive zone. If they hold on to possession, we might see Cochran coming out of the net. It used to be, last 45 seconds to a minute we see the goalie get pulled. But in today's day and age, they're getting pulled a little bit early. If the team has possession, has control in the offensive zone, adding a sixth man to create some space really is a element that we've been seeing a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do take him out soon.
That's the Kings trying to work it into the zone. A good stick from the Canadians forces them back. Vaughan, he was there. Pagani looking up the center of the ice, but that's taken by the Canadians in their own zone. Pressured now from the Kings. Shot on! Save from Masic. Where's the puck? It's in his glove. I think he may have dropped it. And that was number 97, Elaine, swarming him for the rebound, but Masic making a good cover.
And it looks like they will keep a 5-on-5 here. We do see a line change. Yeah, it'll still be 5-on-5, but I'd say in just a couple moments, Cochran will be thinking about coming out. He's definitely looking to the bench right now.
I was going to say, if they win this face-off, I'm sure he's coming to the bench. Able to be kept in by Vaughan, who sends it down low. That hits off Masic, and that's sent up and out of play. Yet another offensive zone face-off upcoming. Can we see the cameras? Camera did not pan over to the net of Cochran. We don't know if he's coming or not. This top line staying out there. Wang and Fortin are the defensemen. As you see Fortin, he's in the overload on the offhand side. Canadians were able to win that faceoff, but not cleanly. That's Wang giving it over to Cloutier. Cloutier, he has options. Skating it along the blue line. Shot from the point. Scores! Kane Cloutier from the top of the zone ties this game with just minutes remaining.
And who else, Simon, but Kane Cloutier to be the hero once more for the Vaughan Kings, doing what he does best. We talked about when he has time in the offensive zone, he loves to walk that line, survey his options, and there, his one option was to fire it on the net of Masic through traffic. That was a beautiful opportunity with, like you said, less than 2 minutes left to go, less than 1.5 minutes left to go. We are in for a doozy of an end here. We couldn't ask for anything more between the top two teams in the U16 AAA division.
And we see this line with Quadja, Grima and Vortman on for the Canadians. And of course, this line of Pagani with Fitzgerald on for the Kings. Both teams switching it up after this goal. Less than a minute and a half to play in the third period. Barring a goal late, this game could be seeing overtime momentarily. That's dumped way down low, no icing, as Watt, he rims it around the boards. That's taken by Keefe. Keefe unable to find Fitzgerald in at center ice. That's taken down low yet again. Watt maintaining possession for the Kings as he takes it around the net of Cochran. Just about a minute to go here in the third period. Kings starting a breakout, looking to get one more rush attempt to try to send this game home early before overtime. Taking it around the back of the net are the Kings. Nelson, he's at the point. Finding Watt along that far side. Watt trying to make a move. Delayed shot, and that goes high and wide off of a stick. What an effort, though.
That was gorgeous. My goodness. To do the toe drag coming in. I mean, that shows confidence. It's exactly like I said earlier. Once these players get in the zone, once they get into, and I'm sorry for this, flow state, that's when we see the creativity come out, and we almost saw it transpire into a goal there. This has been an incredible third period to watch. Kind of a 180 from the first and second.
Just going to let flow state hang in the air for a second. Cloutier, his shot from the top of the circle, it hits the shin pad, but he reclaims it. Another shot from about where he scored. That hit the pad of Masic and wide. Canadians looking a bit frazzled here in the late goings in the third. Kings able to keep that puck in. Around the back of their net, Zinke goes down low to retrieve that puck. Nelson, he's there at the point. He sends it right back down low. Canadians holding the puck against that side wall yet again, but they are now able to break it out of their zone. Nice move from Zoo, the defenseman, jumping up in the rush. Sending it across ice. Only 10 seconds left to go. That shot goes wide. Zinke, his shot from the boards, almost gets through. No icing, says the referee, and that will be the third period. End of regulation. Not enough to determine a winner as we move to 3-on-3 overtime.
Ooh, my goodness. That felt like it just flew by. It literally felt like it was a couple minutes, and it really was 15. Vaughan coming back, that shows how good they are and how they never give up. We've seen it a couple times this season that they have the ability to come back in late games. And I feel like towards the end there, it did look like Vaughan took control. They tied the game, and then it seemed like they smelled blood in the water. You know, they felt that the junior Canadians were caught off guard, caught a little bit flat-footed, and they nearly took advantage as well. This is going to be an exciting overtime period. Of course, worth the reminder, it will be 3-on-3, and that's always fun to watch in a U16 AAA division. This is going to be a speedy overtime.
The last OT winner came off the stick of Miles Riley, the Toronto Marlboro, against the Vaughan Kings. An eerily similar situation here. 2-2 heading into overtime against the Vaughan Kings in game number 2 of the playoff series. Who will be the overtime hero in this one? Will the Kings, looking down the barrel of losing 2 playoff games in overtime, and the Canadians, they have not been to an overtime period yet in these playoffs?
Maybe it's redemption time here for Vaughan. Different goaltender in net this time. It was Stokes against the Marlboros, like we were saying. Cochran, he stood tall all day, but he faces a tough task in stopping a speedy Cash Kawaja, I'm sure Grima, and you have to imagine O'Rourke will be on at one point.
You would think so, and Kawaja, Grima, and O'Rourke is the defenseman. What a 3-unit that is, my goodness. O'Rourke, he claims that puck in his own zone, looking for a breakout. Almost looked like he was going to take it on his own, but Fitzgerald was there to cut his angle off. That's Kawaja breaking up the zone. Kawaja taking it in slowly. He holds the puck at the top of the zone. Grima down low. O'Rourke circling the neutral zone. Grima yet again just retreating to the neutral zone. Didn't have any options. Some good positional defense from Fitzgerald and the Kings. That's taken down low by the Canadians. Grima goes for a change, as does Kawaja. As do the Kings. Everyone's just going for the line change in this one. You see Ross, he comes out for the Canadians. Ross trying to find that stretch pass. He's taking it through the zone. Yet again, just elects to retreat the puck. Brody Brown is all over him, like white on rice, you could say.
I'm pretty sure that's why they're wearing their away jerseys today, Simon.
Oh, I love that. Just love that comment. That puck stripped away from Brown. That was Vortman trying to break through the zone. Stripped by the Kings, and this is the first time the Kings have touched the puck in this overtime period so far. Let's see what they can do. Taking it up the side wall. That's Cloutier, the game-tying hero. Can he be the overtime hero? And yet again, some not the fastest pace, as we're just about a minute and a half into this overtime period. That's Fortin breaking in. Fortin circling it at the top of the wall. Trying to find the stick of Brown. He's able to find the backhand. Cycles it for Cloutier. Cloutier ramming it up the side wall. Fortin's unable to get there in time. Cochran out of his net to play it. He's being pressured by Grima, and we can see some late movements. My goodness, that was close to being a complete blunder for the Kings. Some labored movements, clearly some tired players out on the ice for both teams. 3 minutes to go in this overtime period. Kings breaking it out now. That's McKegg making a move. Blocker saved by Masic. What a move from Nixon McKegg to split the defenseman. But just as good of a save. Slap shot from the top of the zone. That just goes wide. Kings able to pick up that rebound. Cloutier retreating in his own zone. Delayed penalty here for the Canadians as we see Cochran out of his nets. A 4-on-3 impending here. Kings decide to settle this one down. Elaine, he has it. Working it. Trying to find a centering pass. Oh my goodness, I think he tried for the shot, did Elaine. Tried to pass it across the ice for Fitzgerald rather than take the shot himself. You have to commend him for his selflessness, but maybe the coach would rather see a shot there.
It was hard to tell if he was going for that passing lane or trying to send it off the far pad. You know, we've seen that a lot in this league where they'll go to try to go off the pad for the rebound. Either way, great defending from the Junior Canadians, especially knowing all they needed to do was touch the puck there. Both teams a chance to collect themselves. This is a dangerous opportunity here for the Vaughan Kings. I can imagine they're going to bring on the guys who have the speed. I'd be shocked if Cloutier isn't on the ice. I'm sure Elaine will get some time. Guys like Fortin will also be out. The guys that can just skate the puck out. This is so exciting, Simon. I mean, this is why we do it. This is why we are so excited to call each game. This is what it is all about. In the finals, game number 2, one team with a chance to put another's back against the wall and another with a chance to tie the series at 1.
And we see Ross, O'Rourke, and Kov long out there for the Canadians. For the Kings, it's Fitzgerald, Brown, Fortin, and I would have to believe, although I can't see the number, that is Kane Cloutier out there. Yes, it is indeed. A ferocious power play here, and a power play that could send the Kings to a 2-0 series advantage. Referee did not like the puck being dropped there, so we'll redo the faceoff. Fitzgerald, he gets tied up, but the Kings do win it. That's Brown at the point. Sending over to Cloutier. Cloutier, top of the circle. Shot there! That hits a body of Long. Cloutier reclaims his rebound up top for Brown. Brown skating it along the blue line. He finds Fortin. Fortin over to Cloutier. Cloutier holding it at the top of the circle. Over to Brown. Brown can't find Fortin's stick. That would have been a good opportunity. Unable to keep it in. That one hit off a stanchion. I'll say that, and pops out to the King zone. Brown taking it. He has some speed. Will he drop it off? Yes, he will indeed, and that's Cloutier breaking in. Cloutier, his puck. The puck is knocked off a fist stick by Ross, but that goes out of play, says the official. It looks like an offensive zone face-off for the Kings. See the referee pointing, but actually,
I think it should be just outside because the captain, Cooper Ross, he was out just enough there, even if it went off him. Yeah, it'll be just outside, but nice play from Ross. Unfortunate for him, he couldn't get that one off the boards and out.
Certainly not. You saw the referee pointing. I thought he was pointing for an offensive zone, but a clear neutral zone face-off ensues along this blue line. Kings win that one back for Fortin. Fortin has it at the red line. Looks like he's going to take it himself. Splitting the defenseman. Fortin, backhand, scores! Sebastian Fortin, the Game 2 hero. And the Kings take this game 3-2.
And how about a 2-goal game from Sebastian Fortin? Like you said, the Game 2 hero. He made it 2-1. And in OT, on the power play, splits all 3 Junior Canadians defenders. What a move on the backhand. but I want to give a shout out to my boy Evan Fitzgerald winning that face-off outside the zone with his foot, kicked it back, and Sebastian Fortin doing the rest. Vaughan Kings, what a game. What an effort to come back in this one. This is why we play the game.
It certainly is, and Sammy, I don't know about you, but I feel like I could talk about this game for a long time, and that's exactly what we will do next. Let's talk about this game in the booth.
Well, folks, there you have it. What a phenomenal game, going down to overtime. But it was the Vaughan Kings taking this game by a score of 3-2 and taking a series lead 2-0. The JRC, they got their backs up against the wall heading into Game 3. But, man, what a game this was.
Absolutely. I mean, it had everything. There was physicality. There was great offensive creativity. And then, of course, overtime, 3-on-3 with one of the fastest, if not the fastest, youth hockey leagues in the world at the highest level. It was a treat to watch.
It certainly was. And not only the overtime, but this entire game was just so fast and so evenly matched. But there had to be a loser. And unfortunately for the Canadians, they are down 2-0. Now, let's talk about our 3 stars of the game, because you could have picked a lot of guys, but I think we know who number 1 is. But let's jump to our 3rd star.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to number 1. I mean, you see it. We all see it. We all knew it was coming anyway. Let's go to our 3rd star of the game, Brody Brown. He scored a big one in this game, and he has been also one of those guys like Evan Fitzgerald where he's not exactly the number 1 guy. He's not the number 2 guy, but he is right up there in the top 6, always playing on one of the top 2 lines, always a contributor offensively. And I kind of want to throw the stat to you.
Throw the stat? To me, I love that. So we have not a running gag, but a running stat. The Vaughan Kings are undefeated in the playoffs when Brody Brown plays a full 60-minute game, and they are 0-2 when he doesn't. Sticking with that trend, they are still undefeated when he plays a full game.
Yeah,
so I love that stat.
I mean, he might be that huge X factor. He is an incredible player. He moves the puck very well, and he has a goal-scoring touch that not many players can boast. He gets my 3rd star of the game. Give some love to JRC. Give some love to the guy who's been fantastic all season, the underager from Round Rock, Texas. Yes, I'm going to say it every time. Cade O'Rourke. He's incredible. I mean, he is so strong defensively. He knows when to pinch. He knows how to jump on loose pucks for takeaways. And I wouldn't even say his defense is really the best part of his game. It's his offense. His shot is incredible. It reminds me of like an Evan Bouchard type of shot from the point. He facilitates well on the power play. Him and Ross are such a perfect combination of great D and great offense, and they both come together so well. So hard to play against a player like that. He picked up 2 assists in this game. But of course, star number 1, the overtime hero, the crowd popper himself, Sebastian Fortin. What a goal that was in overtime, going through all 3 JRC players, going on the backhand. Beautiful goal, beautiful play, beautiful game from Sebastian Fortin. And I'm going to be honest, he's not the guy that you expect to score an OT winner. You don't expect it from a defenseman. Certainly, you would have expected Adrian Skro to be the guy to close it out, but Fortin shown what he can do. His speed is incredible. We saw it on full display.
That's exactly right. I mean, Fortin, he is a defenseman, but we also have to keep in mind he is the quarterback of that first power play unit for the Kings. He is not a slouch in the offensive zone, and we haven't really seen that type of skating ability from him really. I mean, not like the end-to-end stuff like that recently, and again, just proving why he is yet another one of these top defensemen in this league. And for the Canadians, falling down 2-0 in the series, backs up against the wall. What changes do you expect them to make heading into Game 3?
You got to assume it's Zdane JC in net, not because Marko Masic has played poorly. He has played well. There might have been a couple goals in this series so far. He's allowed 5 now. Was it 5? It was 3-2?
Yeah, 5, yeah. I can go from the question.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was talking about Fortin. I'll just go from the JRC. It's fine. Yeah. Well, JRC now down 2-0 in the series, or I guess 0-2 in this series. Their backs are up against the wall. Sammy, what changes are you expecting them to make heading into a pivotal Game 3?
So obviously, backs up against the wall. I expect a goalie change. I think Marko Masic has played incredible. There may have been one of the 5 that he's wanted back, but the losses have not been his fault. It's been really a game of inches between these two teams, and they both happened to go the Vaughan Kings way. I expect Zdane JC will be in for game number 3. I think the Junior Canadians need to rely on more transition offense, their fast break offense. That's how you can kill the Vaughan Kings. The Vaughan Kings are incredible. They're a team that their list of weaknesses is very, very small, if they have any at all. I think they need to just improve the fast break, try to get the puck out of the defensive zone, and drive the offense towards the net right away. Because as we've seen, the Vaughan Kings have done a very good job at not allowing the Junior Canadians to get something set up. Junior Canadians, when they're set up, when they have Kawaja, Grima, and Ross, and O'Rourke up high, and then whoever you want, a guy like Champagne, they are dangerous, but they need to try to focus on driving the puck towards the net in transition. It's one of the only ways that you can consistently build offense against a team like Vaughan.
A great point there, Sammy. And with that, that will end it for us today. And yet again, it was Vaughan Kings taking Game 2, 3-2, and taking a series lead 2-0. Crucial Game 3, Canadians back up against the wall. Who will win? Only time will tell them. For now, that is all from us. My name is Simon Hendricks. His name is Sammy Brzezowski. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, have a good one, everybody.